Divine greetings and gratitude. Welcome back to our YouTube space. I am, of course, excited to have you here. I wanted to go ahead and get into a reading. I wanted to pull some cards, and I just wanted us to immerse ourselves into whatever messages Spirit has for us tonight or today, if you will. And it's not really even for us, it's for you. However, I am open to receiving whatever I need to hear as well. But I spend my time making sure that I dedicate moments to you. If you have not known by now, if you're new here at least, my name is Nuna. I am the seer, the poet, the writer and the witch, and the keeper of these Saiyonan archives. I also merge the arts of poetry and magic. I'm the keeper of the Saiyonan Etherium, which is essentially an apothecary where I work my magic for you. And I also handcraft spiritual essentials to help you transcend beyond pain and suffering, as well as expand your consciousness, as well as to help you heal and manifest, of course. I don't know what these messages are going to be about today. We're just going to allow ourselves to just kind of immerse into it. The decks that I'm using are going to be found down below. And I'm also going to be pulling some cards out of my box here that I have. I don't know if you've ever seen any of my other readings, but I used to have like a blue, like a turquoise, or like not turquoise, but like this teal blue box. I would sit right there that had like this gold ring around, well, this gold bowl, and then there was like a plant inside. I actually ended up moving it because I didn't want it to be here on the desk anymore or on the altar anymore. I wanted to keep it elsewhere. So yes, that's what this is about. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get into the reading. I'm going to make sure that I have all the links that you would need down in the description or in the comment section. Okay. So the word that I'm hearing is contemplation. And okay. I just heard the word contemplation, and then I heard this is rejuvenating. I heard this is rejuvenating. Interestingly enough, I do feel a lot, and I mean a lot of lunar energy here. I'm sensing a lot of darkness. I'm feeling like it's almost like the hours leading up to dawn. It's the hours leading up to dawn. It's where something starts to kind of become a little bit more clear. I'm being drawn to like being around like maybe 3 and 4 in the morning, or in the rising, as I would like to say. It's like where it's like this extremely sensitive activity, or you're sensitive to the activity that goes on around 3 and 4 a.m. And somehow that energy bleeds into the day, or there's something where you're working at 3 a.m. and or doing a working or doing a ritual or whatever it may be, because this definitely is bringing me to a ritual being done. It could have been something that you have had that was just kind of weighing on you for so long, and somehow you find yourself up at 3 a.m. asking the same questions: why this and why that and why this and why that. It's bringing me to something that kind of made you feel like it's like this lack of worthiness, or this lack of having, or it's like this lack of security, or it's this lack of something that made you feel. I just heard the word combustion. I don't know why I just heard the word combustion. What the word? I don't even have my phone. Oh, yes, I do. Actually, I do have my phone on me. Combustion? Why am I hearing the word combustion? As you guys know this by now, I am a writer. So my way of connecting to spirit is definitely through words. And I hear things, I see things, I smell things, I taste things. And well, when I say that I see things, it comes through my third eye. I'm a little bit too rational and logical to see things in person. And also that's just not my gift, at least not yet. I don't know what'll happen, but that's just not my gift. But I do like feel things in other ways, if that makes sense. The process of burning, a chemical change, especially oxidation, accompanied by the production of heat and light. Oh wow, okay. Um Also a slower oxidation as in the body, violent agitation. That resonates. That resonates. The violent agitation, I feel like that's coming from this 3 of Swords here. Exactly. And the fact that you have the 2 of Cups here, I feel like that's the reason why I'm hearing like the word combustion. And it makes sense now because of the Ace of Wands. And it's like, and it really is bringing me to like magical workings being done And like at 3 a.m., like that's where things become a lot more active. And it feels like there's something that you've really been wanting to just let go, release, purge. And it, because it's starting to kind of, it's like fireworks going off in the body is what I'm feeling. And it almost kind of feel like it's this chest area, like it's bringing me to the chest area, and it's making my chest kind of feel weird, and it's kind of hurting a little bit. But I don't have issues with my chest. Like I don't have issues with my heart at all. So if I'm feeling it, it's because it's coming from someone else. Like this is the energy that I'm feeling, because it does, like it does, it, I feel it within my own body, right? So it really does, it feels, if anything, like there's something about you looking at the moon, or calling to the moon, or this could be something that's happening and it's going to show itself fully, violently, loudly, during the full moon phase that we have coming up, which I don't even know what it is in. I need to do better with tracking this, but I can definitely find out, because I do have it here. So we're actually going to have a full moon in the sign of Leo. Actually, we're going to have a full moon in Leo, and that's going to be happening on what looks to be at 5:10 p.m. actually, on February the 1st, on a Sunday. So yeah, it definitely looks like there's something that's going to be very loud, which is so funny because Leo is a very, the energy of Leo is very loud. It's solar. So this is to me bringing me the energy where it's like you feel restless, right? And somehow when you keep doing the workings, you keep doing them and whatnot, you're working your ritual week by week by week. It's like when you light a candle on Sunday and then it ends like 10 Sundays later, or like 7 to 9 Sundays later, or you do it on a Saturday, whatever day of the week, and then every week you come back to that same spot at the same time, to the same candle, with the same prayer, and you just keep working at it until something eventually happens. That's the kind of energy that I'm seeing here, and it really does feel very lunar. It feels very lunar, which is interesting, because if you look at the Two of Cups here, you have what looks to be a canoe, but this canoe looks like a crescent moon, right? And then you have an owl here. So this is the animal of a seer. This animal is a seer. And then you have death here, which looks like, to me, it looks like dawn. It's like this skeleton here was like dancing in the night, and now it looks like it's about to be sunrise. And these souls, whatever they are, have been collected, or they're unconscious, or they've transitioned. And this is something that I also want to mention too, is that one thing that I feel like is not talked about enough, and this is how I feel, and I'm going to be doing a video on this very soon. One of the lessons that I learned after my husband passed is that when one person transitions, right, when the death of someone happens in the family, everybody's going through a transition. Everybody's going through a transitional phase. And sometimes what happens is that people may not take to it very well because of what they're seeing happen. There's something's happening where they don't understand. So it almost kind of makes them tap into the unknowingness within themselves, and that can create, or that in itself, it's not like something is creating it, but it's their reaction to what's happening, to their lack of control. It's what's causing things to happen in their life when they don't understand it. This, to me, I feel like is something that happened that was out of your control, and now you're starting to be led down this path that is requiring you to just allow the energy to just kind of be, right, to just be what it is. Interesting is that you have 3 owls here. Owls may be very significant to you right now. They're asking you to see something. I really do feel the energy of owls. And these owls are coming. These are like ancestral messages, or messages from a loved one or a guide. Like these are coming up as animal guides. You really may be in a space where you're starting to see things, or you're being prepared to start seeing things more clearly. I feel like there is going to be some type of truth. It could have been a heartache from a relationship. This is really giving me connection or relationship vibrations or vibes, or it could be because of the passing of a loved one that you had a connection with, or where you had a transition. And now it's like, how do I get through this? How do I go through this? I feel like I'm grieving. I'm grieving. I'm grieving. I don't know how to get through this. Like, divine, please help me. And I feel like with the Hermit card here and with the Justice card, this is coming up as, in this case, right? In this case, it's coming up as, I don't know the answer to the reason why, but I know that it's going to reveal itself. And I know that everything happens for a reason, right? Now, there's a such thing as a series of events, because this happened, right? If this, then this, right? It's cause and effect. At the same time, there's a deeper question, but why though? Like, but why? Yes, there's this that happened, but why did that thing happen? I just heard the words principles of um principles of sufficient reason. And that sounds mathematical actually. Okay, here we go. Principles of sufficient reason. The principle of sufficient reason, or PSR, states that everything must have a sufficient reason. It is similar to the idea that everything must have a cause, a deterministic system of universal causation. A sufficient reason is sometimes described as a coincidence of every single thing that is needed for occurrence of an effect. I don't believe in coincidence. Okay. Okay, the principle of sufficient reason states that everything must have a reason or cause for its existence or occurrence. It was notably articulated by philosopher Gottfried or Godfrey, I don't know, Gottfried Wilhelm. I'm not going to butcher this person's name, who argued that no true fact can exist without a sufficient explanation for why it is so. That's interesting because I feel like someone is constantly asking for the reason why because something is not being satisfied. So what I'm hearing is that in this instance, right, someone is trying their best to use logic to give them an answer as to why things came to be a certain way because they're unwilling to accept the outcome. And I feel like spirit is saying to you now is that no matter what you do, no matter what explanation you try to give, right, to give yourself comfort, no matter what, it was not going to change this outcome. It wasn't, because everything that happens has a reason for it. And even still, and even if you do find the answer, so then what? What happens when that, I mean, what happens? So what if the reason that you find you don't agree with? Then you'll go looking for another reason as to why this happened because you wanted to please you. And that's a part of the issue. And it's not to say that we don't have compassion or that your guides don't have compassion. Absolutely. And I do, because I'm feeling truly like it's not fair. And I know that you feel that it's not fair. And I just heard the word spectating. It's like spectating, or it's this energy where you feel the need to constantly look and figure out, well, why does it just keep happening this way? What is going on? I'm hearing illumination, and someone is questioning, like, is this something that, am I the reason here? Am I at fault? Like, why does it just keep happening this way? Someone is looking for closure, and it keeps them up at night. It keeps them up at night. They're looking for some kind of closure. This doesn't feel right, and neither does this. Spirit, what else is it that we can hear? What else is it that we, not you, I said spirit, not you know how your phones, like when they listen to you, I would say spirit and someone will, and then my phone will be like start lighting up. That's kind of weird, but anyway, so you have the high priestess. Exactly, you have the high priestess here, which makes so much sense. And I feel like with the high priestess, it's one of those things where the high priestess does not go necessarily looking for the answer. The high priestess understands that the answer will come and the answer will reveal itself. All it knows, or all she or whatever, all this energy does is allow itself to be the channel, to be the open vessel that divines the information, and it moves with what it feels. It goes with what it feels. And so even if it doesn't like what like whatever the explanation would be, no matter what it is, the high priestess is going to follow the divine current. The high priestess is going to follow divine wisdom. The high priestess is going to follow what it knows to be true because it's being led by divine wisdom, and it understands that. And it also knows that all will reveal itself, because no matter what, there's something acting as a mirror here. Like there's something that definitely is being reflected, and it's something that is being shown. And it's being shown in like the wee hours of the night, or like in this 3 to 4 hour range. Like it starts at 3 a.m. and then it moves on, or bleeds into the rising. It bleeds into dawn. And it's like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this in your ritual, but there's moments in time where I'm working my magic like around 3 a.m. or something like that, or 12 to 3 or whatever. And then sometimes I can't even sleep because I'm so like in the energy and what of it all. And eventually it'll lead into the rising moments. And then next thing you know, it's like, okay, now that the sun is out, now that dawn has happened, or now that the sun is rising, sunrise, it almost feels like I've gained everything that I'm needed. Even though I'm tranced, or even though I'm really deep into ritual, I know what's going on, but then I'm not allowing myself to be so immersed into everything else because I don't want to break I don't want to break the ritual. I don't want to break the transfer. I don't want to break anything. I'm aware enough to know that I can snap out of it. And the only way I'm deep, deep, deep into it where I don't snap out of it is when everything is in a controlled environment where the kids are good and things like that. But why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I feel like with the high priestess here, I do see someone kind of going into a trance to receive more information and to receive more divine insight. I feel like what just happened with you is that it was the trigger you needed to help you step into this higher source of your own power. I'm going to just leave that there because that's what I feel. I feel like this trigger happened to help you tap into a higher source of your power. With the death card here, I feel like this is a transition that you have to, not have to, but it's a transition that you want to welcome because it's going to lead you to some kind of healing, and it's also going to help you understand things from a higher perspective and move more with intuition. I'm predicting that in this stage of your life, if you want to progress, you are going to have to follow your intuition. Logic is going to be here to help to bring reason as to the reason why you feel this way, but spirit is wanting you to trust in your intuition first and foremost. Like, I've been saying that a lot, and you guys hear me say that a lot here on this channel, but there's something about this moment. There's something about this. You know how when people say, okay, but this time, I don't want to be that person, but it really does feel that way. It's like, okay, but this time, you're really wanting to understand that this is a transitionary period for not just you, but also for others around you as well. As you go through this period, you also will not necessarily be bringing people with you, but as you transition, people have to transition as well. They have to get used to your absence. They have to get used to you not being here. And that's okay. But at the same time, what I'm hearing is up with the high priestess, I just heard the word notary or like notarized or like someone being legally notarized or like legally seen as something, or they're like a person of importance. I feel like you're a person of importance or a soul of importance, and it's going to start showing. And there's something about how even when you're in public, they're saying for you to start wearing things that someone of importance would wear. It sounds so bad when I'm saying it this way because it feels like, okay, spirit is saying it's not a bad thing. Don't worry about it. That's just human ego talking. It's not the fact that you're better than anyone. They're not saying that, but what they are saying is that you want to I just heard the words looks matter. That's so interesting. Looks matter. I just heard that looks matter where you're going. I don't know what this is about. I am a strong advocate for you don't need to be judged based off of what you wear and who you are. I don't believe people should be judged that way. And spirit is not condoning it either. But what they're saying is that where you are going, looks matter. You have to understand that this is a part of people's journey and that this is what they are called to do because of where they're going. It doesn't mean that you're any better than anyone else. It just means that you're presenting yourself a certain way because of what you're doing. People who don't want to present themselves in that way means that they don't want to live that life, and they don't have to. They're not wrong. But with you being in this space where you're going, it requires you to show up in a certain way. And it is okay that you do that because as a leader or whatever you are, right, you want to be put together, but at the same time, you also want to be transparent about it and be transparent about that. Being put together in this instance means that you simply are showing that, okay, this is what I am doing. I'm put together enough to where I can listen to divine spirit or to the divine spirit. I can listen to divine guidance, and then I can interpret that. Because what does even being put together mean? Right? Like, what does that even mean? It means that you are put together enough to where you are listening. Put yourself together. Pull yourself together. There's someone who's like deep into deep into the tears and like deep into the sorrow of it all. But spirit is saying is that this period, this transitionary period that they're going through, that you are going through, it's going to level you up somehow. I just heard that's the mark of the seer. If you are on this channel, you're probably marked as a seer. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I just you're probably a seer. I feel like this is gonna bleed into another video that I'm gonna do, and it may even bleed into a poem. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and open up this box here that I was talking about earlier. This is something that I had over there that used to sit there, but yes. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and open up this to pull out these liniment cards because I've been loving these cards a lot. I just actually got a couple of more decks that I'm gonna put in the office. Whoa, what was that? Oh, you have the sun card that's trying to peep out here. And do you like my Harry Potter, my Harry Potter deck of cards? I'm gonna be using these in a reading, by the way. I'm just not gonna use it today. Not today. Okay. So yes, and if you pay attention, if you see this, you have moon energy there, you have the death card there, and then you also have that owl that was there. You have here, um, you have this owl here. That's another owl. And then you have the moon here. That's another moon. And then you have, of course, the high priestess. Oh, wait, you have the hermit card here, which is another owl. Owls are following you. Owls are following you. And then you have here another moon, of course. And then you have these moons here. Exactly. So you have a lot of lunar energy. Lots and lots and lots of lunar energy. You're going to be working very closely with the moon. If I were you, I would, oh my goodness, oh my God, psychic. The word is psychic. Of course, I have an oil for that. I have an oil that you can use to help you work with your intuition and help you work with yourself as a seer. I actually have that to help you to dive or to dive deeper into not just the mysteries, but to help you dive into the power of your intuition, your psychic energy, your psychic gifts and talents and things like that. Because I feel like you're going to need that. I feel like I just heard the word psychic attack. You don't want to be under any kind of psychic attack. You do actually want to be very protected from that. I feel like we could do really good work together. I have things that you can use to help you with that energy. Oh, wow. Wow. We're going to pull that out. Just one. Let's see what happens. Oh, you have a snake here. I just heard the words all-seeing eye. I just heard all-seeing eye. Someone is going to be getting into lots of mysteries. We were just talking about, oh my God, you cannot make it up. Listen, you have the owls here. You have the death card here. You have the snake here. I just feel truly what I'm seeing. Yeah, this is definitely a really deep transitionary period, and your guides are showing up right now. Yeah. You have the stairway, you have the mice. What are these? What's going on here, spirit? Okay. You have the book. I don't want to pull too many cards out. Okay, so thank you for being patient, by the way. I'm hoping that you're getting what you need out of these messages. I'm not going to pull any other cards apart from these because our watch time, I want to increase our watch time. But yes, this is definitely marking you as a seer. You're marked as a seer. This snake is not coming up as anything evil, actually. I'm not seeing it as that. So I have a story that I'm going to share with you, and I'll share it later in a video. I have so many videos to make, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this out of an experience, okay? If you've ever encountered or been in like a trance state or been in a dream where you've seen a snake and you locked eyes with it, or you locked eyes with an animal, specifically snakes, and you were not consumed, you didn't move, you didn't budge, you just locked eyes and you were, patient, and it was patient with you, you more than likely encountered the snake mother, and that marks you as a seer. You're marked as a seer. And I feel like with you coming into my field, it's because you're ready to start seeing, or you see and you're seeking understanding. And I feel like this is where I come in. This is where Nuna comes in, because you decided to trust me enough to help you see. And so now I'm going to help you see. And when you do that, that means that you allow yourself to understand the deeper reason why you're going through these things, and you understand the deeper reason why things play out the way that they play out. And it's one of those things where ordinary logic is not going to give you the answer. It's not going to be sufficient enough. It's not. And if you continuously seek through logic, it's not going to help you. It's just not, because it's going to continuously make you or derail you or deviate or make you deviate away from what the actual truth is. And the truth is a lot more stranger than fiction. It is. In this instance, the truth is a lot more strange. I feel like there's a lot of strange things that are going to be happening or that have been happening. And like people in your life who you believed were there, who you were connecting with, I'm going to sound like a cuckoo. I'm going to sound a little bit cuckoo, but yeah, it's one of those things where even some of the people that were in your life they were just kind of distractions. They were distractions. And it sounds so wild. It's wild. I know. They were distractions. They were like little things that kept adding up as like issues and problems. Like they kept coming up as problems. It really does feel that way. Like they kept causing things, like causing issues. And it's interesting because earlier today, like not today, I'm sorry, earlier during the reading when I pulled these cards, or a few moments ago actually, timing and me are just not the best. So I actually ended up seeing these owls grab the snake to eat it. And it's one of those things where it's like spirit is like, there's nothing that you need to be afraid of. You don't need to be afraid of these things. Why? When you have the power to see what it doesn't. And I just heard that you're seeing beyond, like you're seeing beyond the veil. You're seeing through this. You're seeing the weakness. Like there's nothing for you to be afraid of. You have everything you need. Your claws are so powerful and so sharp and so potent. You are the light in the dark. I just feel like whatever it is that you are doing right now, the spirit is asking you to make this choice. Do you choose this ordinary life wow, it's bringing me to the matrix. Do you choose the red pill or the blue pill? Which one are you choosing? It's up to you. But either way it goes, this is a transition. I'm going to let you know now, and you have my love. You have all of it. You really do. You're going through a transition right now. And if you haven't, you will. And it will require you to let go of things that you felt deeply connected to. You felt deeply connected to them, and you are going to have to let them go. You're going through a transition. It's not to say that you are dying. No, but the old you is now, the old you is leaving. The old you is gone, is leaving. This is a state, or this is a space in your life where you are required to do a lot more deeper studies, going deeper into the mystery, going deeper into, I just heard the occult. You're going to start seeing just how much the occult really does impact and really is just interwoven throughout your day-to-day reality. You couldn't escape this if you wanted to. Why? Because it was a part of your reality. It's a part of who you are. It's a part of your life. It was preordained. It was predestined, is what I'm hearing. I tend to not listen to things like that because I feel like, well, what? Like, aren't we all just kind of creating our lives, right? But when you think about it, everything is preordained. Everything is destined. Why? Because you're pulling from a field of potential. And when you're pulling from that field, or this womb of potential, that means that it already does exist. So no matter what you do, you're pulling from something that already exists. You're pulling from the potential. It just becomes a reality when you start to act on it. And that's something that I feel like we just have to understand. Also, you may have been seeing 1212 a lot, and you may have been seeing 222 a lot. You're being called right now to start not even just aligning, but it's choices. It's pointing you to your choices. What are you choosing? Wow, this is bringing me to Charmed. Remember when they had to make a choice? Wow. You had to make a choice. They had to make a choice. And they chose sisterhood. They chose that life. And they lived it. It was hard, but they lived it. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. It's hard, but you're living it. And the answer to why will come. If you need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at thesayonanpath.org. If you wish to work with me, or you have any questions on how to work with your intuition, you'll have an email that I'll post for you. That way you can ask me questions or reach out. I'll make sure to answer them as I can. While we don't have as many people that are kind of swarming and asking questions, you may want to take advantage of this time right now because, well, respectfully, you may want to ask, because once that time does come, I'm not going to be as available as I would be while the numbers are so low right now, while there's not so many people coming in asking like a bunch of questions. Okay. So I would definitely say, take advantage of this time. Also, if you wish to get a lot more of a personal vibe from me, where you want to, dive deeper into, readings and whatnot, get longer readings and readings very frequently, I would love to invite you to become a private member. And that is when you become a part of the Saiyonan circle, not the Saiyonan collective. The Saiyonan collective is on YouTube. The Saiyonan circle is a private aspect, right? It's for our coven where we have time to meet once a month. And we also do fellowship together. Of course, I call it fellowship, but it's really us just kind of getting together and me giving you guys divine insight. I share things that I will not share over the internet here on the behind the scenes. And yes, that's time where I can dedicate more of my focus and my intention on readings and things like that, answer questions and readings for the group and things of that nature. And yeah, that's what we do. So yes, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I just want to again thank you for trusting me to give you this reading. I'll make sure to leave all the links that you would need from me down in the description box as well as in the comment section. And yes, there's nothing else. I love you. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video.